in corporate land, there lived a mighty CEO, and he lived in a mighty tower at the top of the Paris end of the city. And every now and again he would come down from his ivory tower and he would walk amongst the people. And as he walked amongst the people, that's real English, isn't it? As he walked amongst the people, he started to listen to them, and he heard a bit of grumbling and a bit of moaning. And as he walked amongst them and he heard what they were up to, he realised that productivity had started to go down. And there's a few workplace bullying issues going on, and a few claims started to end up on his desk. And he was getting really worried about this. So he called in the top 3 people within his organisation. He said, I want you to help me build the culture within this organisation that we can be really proud of. And he said, by the way, I'm watching you 3 because I think that you could be potentially the next CEO of the organisation. And he also said, and by the way, I know it's 10 to 5, but I want to see you at 10 a.m. in my office tomorrow morning. Make your presentation, as is the custom in corporate land and other lands that we know of. So anyway, the 3 of them rushed off, and the CEO was quite excited. He entered the boardroom at 10 a.m. in the morning and called the first person in, and he said, come on in, tell me what you've got. How can you build the culture within this organisation that we can be really proud of? And the first person said, well, my CEO. And he rolled out this massive, big process flow diagram. He stuck it up on the wall and he said, if we follow this exotic process flow diagram, you can see here, and he got out his pointer and he started pointing, and if you do this and do this, and if we cut out that process there, because it's not very, we'll get to this point there, and that is really where we're trying to end up. And I'll just change that bit of my PowerPoint because that bit there is not going to work. And the CEO thought, terrific. This is exactly what I'm looking for. And he thought this gentleman could be the next CEO with this elaborate, massive, continuous improvement process flow diagram. Wonderful. He called in the next person, and she walked in with a laptop. And she plugged in the laptop. She's using a MacBook because all, great electronic people use MacBooks. She plugged in the MacBook and she said, my CEO, I want to introduce you to the most elaborate learning technology that we've got. And if we put everyone through using this single laptop, it's GST free, it's GSC free, it's got everything you need in it, and all we need to do is use this magnificent laptop and we'll get the culture that we can be proud of. He said, wonderful. You could be the next future CEO of our company. Anyway, the 3rd person came in and she said, excuse me, sir, I've got a few other people to join me to come and help me with my presentation. And the 3rd person came in and he said, that's okay, bring them on in. And so they came in, and all of these people came into the room, and they were like different shapes and sizes from all parts of the organisation. One guy had a laptop, one guy had a shovel. There's all different people that came in, some of the older, more 20 years service in the organisation, a couple of fresh faces. One guy cut himself this morning because he's so fresh. All those people came in the room, they're sort of standing next to each other, sort of crowded up. And the wonderful person said, do you mind if we turn out the lights? And do you mind if we close the windows of the boardroom? And of course the OH&S manager jumped up and said, excuse me, sir, I really don't think that's a good idea, because that could be an OH&S definition. And the CEO went, let's let it go for now. And then she said, she pulled out a candle. And she said, my CEO, would you light the candle? And the OH&S manager jumped up and said, really, sir, sprinkler systems and, lighting matches in the workplace, now it's a bit unsafe. He said, let's just see how it goes. Anyway, so she was in the middle of the room, and she lit the candle, it's all dark. And as the light of the candle started to shine out, it actually started to fill up the room with light. And the light shone on the faces of all the people within the room. And she said to the CEO, sir, if you want to build the culture of your organisation to be just the way you want it to be and to be proud of, she said, look no further than the faces in the room. And she said, my advice to you, sir, is focus on growing and developing these people, focus on bringing out their potential, and look for the best in everyone. And the CEO said, yes, you too will be the future CEO of our company. And the CEO went and did that, and he brought out the potential of people, remembering the candle shining on the different faces. Everyone was so different, and he did that. And of course, they lived happily ever after. That's the